Hey everyone, I'm here with 𝗟𝗧𝗧𝗦. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so hey everyone, my name is 𝗟𝗧𝗧𝗦, and I am a recent graduate student or undergrad student from Xavier University, where I studied communications and Spanish. I knew that after I graduated that I wanted to go abroad. I came across the AIFS program after hearing so many beautiful things about this country. I really wanted to understand the hype, and as soon as I got here, I immediately understood why people just fell in love with this country. The thing that I'm looking to get most out of my time here is just learning as much as I can about the field of cinematography and improving my Spanish. However, more than anything, I just want to enjoy my time here, meet the people, make new friends, enjoy the scenery and good food. And of course, getting to know more about this beautiful country and the culture here.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Those are all definitely great reasons to want to go abroad and live somewhere else for sure. So as you reflect on your education abroad experience, what academic goal did you set for yourself, and where is your progress currently with that goal?
As an intern, my goal was to learn more about the video editing process and how to make a story flow and make sense chronologically, which may sound easy, but when it comes to making your own documentary, for the first time, it's a lot harder than it seems, just because it's almost always turns out different than you might have imagined. With that being said, even though I had set goals for myself, I didn't want to set any expectations because I felt that would add unnecessary stress and would lead me into a different direction than I had hoped. And I'm so glad that I didn't, because looking back, it definitely would have, and I probably would have been dreading my time here.
Yeah, no, definitely. I feel like not going in with any set expectations definitely helps not set any standards, and you can actually enjoy yourself more overall. What is something you have learned on your program that you may or may not have if you hadn't studied abroad?
I've learned that the work environment here seems a little bit more relaxed than in the United States. My coworkers have more of a family-friendly relationship as opposed to just straight coworkers. They seem to know much more about each other's personal lives, and it makes me reflect on the kind of work environment that I want to have in the future and be a part of.
Yeah, I think that is different. Just I feel like in America, there's such a difference between work and family and friends that you don't really combine them sometimes, but it's nice to have a mix and see what that's like. We know that talents and strengths can develop over time as they are applied and practiced, but did you witness any of yours really starting to shine abroad, or what do you think?
Yeah, I think my ability to be adaptable really increased. Learning to take things one step at a time and trying not to get overwhelmed is definitely a process and harder than it seems. I feel like I've been tested the most during my internship here, especially because I dove straight into something so new so quickly. And making a documentary is so different than making an actual movie.
Yeah.
Granted, the use of lighting and angles and sound are all the same, but in terms of actual plot and getting and creating a story, it's constantly changing because you only get one chance to do a particular scene or to catch a particular moment. And those who you are interviewing might also say or do something that was different from what you had planned in your head. That can also completely change the trajectory of what your project might be. And it challenges you to be more creative and floods your mind with new ways in which your documentary could go. Yet you can only use so many ideas. I've been continuously finding new ways to make it flow. The brainstorming process just never stops. And so I think here is where being adaptable really shines through. And because if you're so fixed on, how do you want it to turn out and how it is how it's going to be, it's going to, eat you up and spit you out. And the next thing you know, you're trying to pick up the pieces while you're trying to sprint to the finish line. I'm just so grateful that I've been blessed to have such a skill and be able to use it to the best of my ability. Of course, there's still stressful moments, but it makes it just a little bit easier.
Yeah, definitely. I think the unpredictability of it, not really knowing what will happen next, makes it really exciting. And just you really get to be immersed in the environment and the atmosphere because you can't plan for what comes next. So I think that's awesome. In international education studying, With people from different backgrounds and cultures, they can represent opportunities and challenges. Describe a time where difference in backgrounds impacted your interactions with others in your host country or culture, and how did you approach the situation, and what did you really learn from it?
Yeah, without a doubt, the hardest challenge has definitely been the language barrier, especially when trying to learn about a new subject and the vocabulary that comes with it. And even though I had been studying Spanish all my life, there are still some things that I don't know, and I'm still learning. And every time I travel abroad, it humbles me very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
However, I always recognize that there's always an opportunity to practice and improve my Spanish with every encounter. And over the years, I've learned that you can't be afraid to talk to somebody just because of a language barrier, because every time they correct you, it sticks with you a little bit more until you remember it. And
Mm-hmm.
so for me, I feel the best way to approach it is to just dive right in. And with every opportunity that I have, the longer you wait, the more you second guess yourself, and then you end up kind of backing out of it. Once you start, you're fully in it, and then you have no choice but to continue speaking in that other language. And then another thing that is challenging is picking up on some of the slang that they use, or getting accustomed to the different accent that they have. But however, after being here for a while, it does get a little bit easier. I'm still learning and still working on it. So hopefully by the time I leave here, I'll be able to speak with complete confidence.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think just really immersing yourself in the language is just the best way to go about it. I know I can't learn languages. I've tried to learn 3 different languages. It just like doesn't stick with me. So I knew when I studied abroad, I wanted to go somewhere where English is the first language. I know other people I've talked to who have studied abroad, they say that just speaking the language as much as possible is really the way to go about it. So definitely, I think that's good advice to give people. How green or sustainable lifestyle opportunities incorporated into your study abroad experience do you think you will keep and continue to practice when you return for your program?
It is a little bit challenging because where I live, it isn't as large of a city as San Jose. The bus doesn't really usually come to that area, or there aren't as many buses that may come out to my area where I live. However, I have enjoyed the experience of taking the bus every day, because it's always something unexpected.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that really struck me is when I was on my way to work one of these days, I think maybe 2 weeks ago. One of the bus driver just stopped in the middle of his route. He just ordered breakfast out of his window because he was
Oh my gosh.
there was a cafe on the way to work, and he just got shouted out the window, "I want a croissant and some orange juice." And
Oh,
while we were at the stop,
that
he
is awesome.
paid the guy rushed to the window, gave him his food, and he paid him in
That is
Colombian.
hilarious.
We continued on our way to work.
Yeah, like nothing happened.
It's so culturally different. That's something that would never happen in the United States.
No, that's so interesting though.
Yeah, so I've definitely enjoyed my time with public transportation, and
Yeah.
with just the the experience that I've had doing it, and then also being able to work and being able to walk to the grocery store every day is something that I feel like you can easily take for granted, because when you're in the United States, we just drive everywhere, and that, and it's time efficient, but you don't really get to appreciate the nature of the walk, and coming back and seeing random stuff that happened on the street. It's more it's more interactive, and it's more intimate, and I think that's something I'm gonna try to do when I go back home. Hopefully I can keep it up, especially during the winter time. I know that's a lot harder, but
Yeah.
I would love to keep it up.
No, definitely. I think having walkable areas is such a benefit. And I feel like that's not very common in the United States. So definitely like having that advantage of being able to walk and get your groceries, it is something that's really, really beneficial and stuff like that. But the public transportation stories sound great too. So
yeah, no, it's amazing. I love it.
You can't go wrong.
It always gives you a good story, when you're talking to somebody about how was their experience. Well,
yeah. Guess what?
Yeah.
No, definitely.
It's amazing.
So those are all the questions I have for you. Thank you so much for talking. Do you have any piece of advice maybe you'd like to give to everyone listening?
One piece of advice what I would give is, don't be afraid to try new things. for sure. Don't second guess yourself on whatever it is that you're gonna do. You know, second guess yourself too long, you're gonna eventually give yourself a good enough reason to talk yourself out of it. And that's not something that you ever want to do, really, because it doesn't allow you to get out of your comfort zone, meet new people, discover new things. And I think that's something that could be very helpful going forward into the future, whether it be for, personal or professional reasons. And I think that that's just something that you should definitely keep in mind going forward. Also, if you are planning on doing something out of your comfort zone like I did where I studied communication in Spanish, but now I'm doing something in photography and cinematography and videography. I kind of came in a little bit early in the process. I wish that I had learned a little bit more before coming into the internship, but because it does make it a little bit more challenging when you're diving into something so new and then having to learn that in Spanish. So I would recommend, if you are planning on diving into something new outside of your comfort zone, just make sure you have a firm grasp on it, because it's going to help you in the long run. And not only that, it'll make the whole process a lot smoother. Even though I kind of dove into the process, though, it kind of forces you to have to do better, but at the same time, you don't want to have that happen, even though I'm enjoying my time. I think 100%, for those who are coming in, doing something completely new. Yeah, just don't be afraid to try something new, but also make sure you have a firm grasp on it, because it's going to help you 100%.
No, I agree. I feel like that is always kind of a piece of advice I try to give too, is just go in and try as much as you can, because you never know what you might like or what you might not like. Just try to do everything and try not have any regrets, truthfully, by the time you come back.
Yeah. And that's kind of like the motto of this country is pura vida, pure life and the tranquil life and taking things one step at a time. So that's what I'm trying to incorporate, as I'm here learning and understanding. So for sure, just don't be afraid to try other things. Do it all.
Definitely. Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you, William, for this interview. And thank you to everyone listening, and definitely tune in next time.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.